All right, we are live. As always, not financial advice, for educational purposes only. And like I spoke to yesterday, it's a lot of Groundhog's Day right now, waiting on this data to get here. We are getting a decent flush here at the open, and I've seen them move it before CPI and PPI, but typically we like to chop, so just stay in a tight range-bound market until we get some data. And that's what we're doing. Here's our 4-hour level, and I've got my daily levels over here on this side for you. I already put out my paid subscriber live for the monthly and weekly. And like I said, for those, for my paid subscribers, we know our levels that are big levels that matter right now and kind of how we're handling that. This is my scalpers. Hey, if we're trying to use this market to our advantage, we will use these 4-hour levels like this was overnight. Good bounce off of the pivot. We're getting down to these levels here, that S2 on the 4-hour and S2 on the 4-hour. Let's just look at a 1-year, 1-day chart, and I'll give you those stats. I can't do that. I know better than that. I can look at a 180-day 4-hour chart, though. 360-day 4-hour. How about that? And give you those stats up here at the top of the screen. As you can see, S2, which is where we are, we close above that 93.6% of the time. 93.6, so we'll just call it 93 percent of the time we close above that level. So that's how we use these. So I know that I have a 93% chance of closing above that level, the S2. And I'm taking us back there as rapidly as I can. Right here, the 670. I know I have a 93% chance on a 4-hour time frame that I close above that. I think it was 83 on the S1. So do with that what you wish on that information. Just statistically, when we look at 360 days, and that's a lot of 4-hour periods, that's how often we close there. And as you can see, we got the flush almost to it, and now we are approximately 80 points higher. No, 50 points higher. 50 points, scalp, take your profit, wait. That's what these are good for. Get above daily pivot, retest. You can be excited about that. Get up here and reject. You can be excited about that to the short side, and then use your 4-hour for targets. And then, of course, we got these daily targets. This is Groundhog's Day. Like I said, we are just chop, that 850 area. Every time it seems like I look at it, we're between 750 and 850 on the NQ. Let's look at the ES. Let's look at yesterday's pivots just to see how they played. Not bad. Finally got a above retest and went higher. Bled off into the end of the day. Open and just been chop city. All this is just range bound chop. So that's just not exciting when you're trying to trade it, unless you're using these 4 hours and scalping the heck out of it. Then it's kind of exciting to do that. Here it is, 4-hour, bounced off of S1, bounced off daily pivot. That's a good spot for the S&P. Over under 77, 76. How about that? Or 77, 78. Good spots there. And statistically, these are just great spots to deploy capital and know you're right or wrong, because that's all you need to know. And what you're willing to risk at that level. So that's the S&P. How did it play yesterday? Same, got above and then just chop city. 4 hours, broke pivot, and we headed down. Held pivot, went up. First target, and we are just about 5 points off that right now, so no major bounce. Let's go look at SMH, the king with all the tools. 72 bounce off the 4-hour S1 right out of the gate. Now we're back to pivot. So that's not shocking, but it is just moving. Like I said, I feel bad because it's just Groundhog's Day. It's going to be this until we get some data, and they're just going to chop it and chop it. Let's look at the VIX and see how it's playing. We know our major level on the VIX on our other charts, our monthly and weekly over there. Kind of holding this daily pivot at 1542, so I'd keep my eyes on that, because if it can hold that for support, you start looking higher. If not, then the market's going to start looking higher if the VIX cannot hold that level. NVIDIA, what kind of day is it having? Because that's an SMH driver. We're just getting this clearing range. This first 30 minutes, they kind of orders come on the books, orders get cleared off the books, and you kind of get a lot of erraticness out of the gate. So just be aware of that for about that first 30 minutes. I just wish I had more to bring you because, like I said, it's just groundhogs. It's nothing jiving. This was gold's run yesterday, held that 4-hour pivot, consolidated, and ripped. Yes. 811, 810. So it had that sell off and then grabbed the pivot overnight. I'm used to looking at my bigger pivots. Got down below the S3 support 3, and then finally found support on the next pivot, and we went higher. Holding daily pivot. Depends on where you're at on gold, how you feel about that. Silver broke down, found this perfect S1 support on the daily. Now we're trading about $1 higher. Nothing big, but like I said, for scalpers, these are scalpers' dreams because you get new pivots every 4 hours to make trades from. You don't hold the pivot. You look for first target, break first target, knife second target, hold S3 for a decent bounce, get down here and chop. Finally get open over the next pivot and we run. So, and then you're holding this daily pivot right here, which is just a great spot. It's like, why are we finding support here? Well, you've got a daily pivot. So your 4-hour versus your daily, learn how to use those. And if you want this indicator on your screen, you just have to tell me. There's a link in my Substack to purchase it, and I will set it up with you. I can give you this exact setup. However you like your screens, I can help you in toss, but I like mine black with this on there. Black background so everything pops really well. My candles, my momentum candles, and then of course the all-important levels. Nothing exciting happening. Like I said, we have our bigger levels over there on the paid side, which are where we catch a lot of the big moves, and I just don't want to get chopped up right now. So if we get some type of bigger move to some bigger levels or outsized move to some farther targets on maybe the Q or something else, I'll look at getting excited about that. Is the Q doing better with oil going down is the question. Doesn't look like it. We're down here at this target, 670. We're not having a good start there for the Q. And is the VIX popping? A little bit, but not much. Not much. Just a little bit of clearing this morning. Clearing you out and saying, nope, we are not going to do what you want us to do, which is fine. It's just one of those days that you're probably better off to stay out of the way, because we're going to have a lot of this right here, a lot of Chop City, and hey, we're going to use you up, and we don't want to be a part of that necessarily. So I'm going to watch this Q for a potential bounce if we can hold a level. If not, I'll look for it down here at 29.4. But that's what I'm going to be primarily watching here. We can't on a 2-minute. Now remember, this is a 2-minute chart. It's pretty quick. So I'm going to watch these 2-minute candles, see if we can get a change in color from red to gray, where we find that actual support. Is it at the overshoot? And then kind of play it from there. My monthly and weekly targets, of course, are farther away. And I will look to utilize those when it's time. But this is just a quick scalp trade if I take one. So that's what I will be primarily focused on this morning, just to watch that. And I'm not going to watch it long. I will just see if we can find a target and hold, and then take advantage of that, leave a runner or two on. So scalp a couple and then leave a couple with some stops and call it a day. Leave the casino. Hey, that's a real thing. People want to stay and trade all day. Listen to me, day traders. You want to stay and trade. Hey, you get some good profit, leave. Exit the building. Because if not, you will give it back. You got to leave the screen. and say, I'll see you boys tomorrow. If not, you will be in trouble and you will give all that money back and you'll be like, dang it. Dang it. Now I'm over trading. Now I'm just not doing things right because I'm getting emotional and I'm telling you to tell myself that. So be aware, be very aware of those ideas and those ways. Like I said, daily over here, 4 hour here. This is a scalper's market right now until we get some data. We have our monthly and weekly stuff set up that we reviewed. I put out a video right before that to my paid subscribers showing all that. We know our major levels over there. That's primarily what I trade because it's just bigger, easier moves to catch. And if I want to sit here and watch this, I will, and try to scalp it. So that's the Q. We've looked at the S&P. We've looked at oil. We've looked at gold, silver, and the VIX. Let's look at SMH on this really quick on our daily and our 4 hour pivots. Daily says rejection at the daily pivot perfect this morning. This is a 5-minute chart. And rejection at the 4 hour pivot. So you had rejection here, which would be your daily pivot, bounce off of S1 to 4 hour pivot. And now we keep looking down. Not a good look for the Q to start the morning just because SMH is going to be a big part of that. The farther it dives, it's going to be in trouble. And we're seeing a lot of oil news. We're seeing a lot of, like I said, I think the war will go, it's over. We're going, even though we shot a ship this morning, I think I seen the trouble from this will be downstream. And when they want it to matter, right now, it doesn't matter. We got midterms coming up. Hey, everything's hunky dory. The world's perfect. That Strait of Hormuz, like I said, you could concrete through it. Doesn't matter. That ain't even, hey, Strait of Hormuz, not a big deal. It will be when they want it to be. And right now they don't want it to be. The market will let it be when it's time for it to be. But until then, it's just not going to do it. All right, here we are trying to gain some momentum here. See if you hold that 670 on the Q. We have the flush. And we will see if that does any good or not. Like I said, my monthly and weekly, I'm going to flip back over there. So I'm going to hop off of here and get back on the paid side and see what we have jiving there and watch those levels. Like I said, I put out that video this morning and that will guide the big moves. PPI, CPI, Wednesday, Thursday, they are going to chop fest. Until then, this is a bigger move than I thought we'd have this morning. But really, we're still in this range from 400 to 900. That's just going to be a chop fest. Do not get chopped up. If you are day trading this, you can get my levels on your chart. I've got the link in my Substack. It's a pinned post that says, hey, for I think it's $4.99, you buy this. I will get you set up one-on-one. I can give you this exact look or however you want it to look as far as I like a black background. So everything pops, but I can give you the screen setup. I can give you everything to help you. And you can populate day and 4 hour if you're a scalp trader or monthly and weekly like us, which we use for the bigger moves. We're looking for 1,000-point moves on the Q. And that's the way we like to trade it. So either way, you can populate that. In my yearly pivots, I post all that stuff and show you how that works. So you just click a button and change them. So here's my daily. I can edit this and take it to a 4 hour pivot on this side as well. And all I have to do is click the button. And now I've got the 4 hour pivots here, all my stats up here. And that tells me I pulled up the stats on the a 1 year for the 4 hour pivots. And this S2 is held 93% of the time. So over the last year, wherever S2 is, we close above that on a 4 hour pivot. So you only have a 7% chance of closing below 29,670 for this 4 hour period. Can it do it? Sure, it can close below it, but statistically, you got a 93% chance of closing above it. So keep that in mind when you use these. That's what it's about. We know for the range that statistically we're towards the bottom of the range for this 4 hour period. We will get new pivots that populate in 4 hours. Okay, so this is 4 hours. We'll get some new pivots that populate at noon till 4, and we can use those to our advantage. All right, I will leave you guys with that. If I can help you, direct message me on Substack. And if you're using my levels and you're having issues or they're not working for you or you want to buy them, let me know and we can communicate and get that set up and I will walk you through the process and connect with you. And I love connecting with people and just seeing how they're trading and what they do, and kind of have that one-on-one session with them. So with all that, I will hop off here. And as always, we will talk soon.